The year is 2035. Ever since the world was taken over by the rise of the mid-size crossover, there have always been those who stood against it. Crossover marauders. It is they who train hard and fight for the honor and dignity of the four-door sedan, the station wagon, and the hatchback. Last time we learned of the rise of one of those factions, called La Resistance.
Did you do that supply run?
Yeah, of course.
Well, what did you drive? Because all of the sedans and hatchbacks in this district are dead.
No, I thought that too, but I managed to find an old Crown Vic.
Crown Vic?
Yeah.
Well, what's that? That's new.
No, that's nothing. Thomas.
What the hell?
Why? I like being high up when I drive, and it comes in a hybrid.
You're watching Throttle House. I'm Thomas.
And I'm James, and today we have the top trims of the 2020 CX-5, the Honda CR-V, and the Toyota RAV4. That's pretty rock and roll.
It's literally not rock and roll. No, I bought you that air guitar for special occasions.
This is a special occasion!
Yes, RAV4, CR-V, CX-5, deadly rivals from Japan. Comfortable, high off the ground, all-wheel drive, turbocharged. And they're here today with all the bells and whistles, taking the price of all three to a little over 40 grand Canadian.
Does it even get better than this? Yes, but they're practical, affordable, and sell like hotcakes. Let's do this. And if you're new to Throttle House, we do car reviews, track tests, and quite a lot of messing about. So subscribe and hit the bell.
Crossover day! What a day! All of these cars have all-wheel drive. They're all front-biased all-wheel drive, which brings me onto this car, the RAV4 Limited. It is, in many ways, from the driver's seat, a miniature 4Runner. They haven't gone big Corolla with this, the way the CR-V feels like a big Civic or the Mazda is a big Mazda 3. They've gone the other way.
2020 CR-V in touring trim. Okay, I'm not going to review this car or any of these cars like I would a race car. Obviously that would make no sense. But I am going to be critical about the way that they drive, because within this segment, there's some good stuff. All right, first of all, we have the engine. This is a 1.5 liter turbocharged engine, very similar to the Honda Civic, and a CVT, which doesn't do a good job of trying to not be a CVT. Right away, the biggest issue that I have with this car is straight up the powertrain. I find that it is, like, eco mode is completely useless. Never use it, because even in normal mode, foot down, and now I'm at passing speed. It feels like it's 190 horsepower and 179 pound-feet of torque, just isn't quite enough. And that would be fine if we were getting really good fuel economy, but unlike the Civic, which somehow does like 7 or 8 liters per 100 kilometers all around, this one's getting around 10, which is no different than the other ones.
.203 horsepower though, not a lot, and quite a bit of lean in the corners. Doesn't sound great either, it's not that insulated from the road. But when you're not driving it like a lunatic and you put it in eco mode, which is when these cars really come alive, it feels gentle and easy to live with. Great visibility, comfortable seats. It's kind to you. This is the 8-speed gearbox. It doesn't like staying in first gear, that's for sure. It tries to be as economical as possible, which is funny because it's actually about the same as all the other cars. The CX-5 is actually rated the worst out of these three for its mileage, but we found for these cars, they're all batting around 10 litres per 100 kilometers. So it's not a landslide victory for any of them.
There is some good stuff about this CR-V, and I'll get to that in a second. Before we get there, the way that this car kind of handles its mass is not impressive to me. It's frustrating. I find the steering to be very, very numb. It kind of leans, very high center of gravity. You don't feel like you have a whole lot of control over the chassis of this car. That's frustrating to me because I know that Honda can do better. Because this is on the same platform as the Honda Civic Type R, which is a track weapon. I mean, I guess in the same breath, James and Dwayne Johnson are both bipedal primates, but the similarities end there. James, small, made of soy. Dwayne, big, made of rocks.
Now this does have a bunch of off-road stuff that the other two don't have, like the snow mode and the mud and sand. We haven't used it, I'm sure it's very capable, but it just fits in with the personality of this car and the stuff they're going for, and that's especially true for the interior, which I'm going to talk about in a minute with Thomas.
Okay, so no, the CR-V doesn't drive very well. Also, it doesn't sound good at any RPM. But the rest of it is nice, actually. The ride is great, the seats are very comfortable.
And it has a very good lane centering assist. That means that when all of the systems are turned on, it will keep you in the center of the lane and steer and brake for you. And when you couple that with good visibility and a comfortable interior, it becomes possibly the best long-distance cruiser of the three. Also, it's the only one that when we tested the all-wheel drive systems didn't just seem very, very front-biased and spin its front wheels only on a launch. Chalk that up to good programming. Or more likely just a fatal lack of torque. But the fact remains that the CR-V, while not inspiring to drive, was at least comfortable on the highway and on snowy back roads.
And that is probably the best part about the CR-V.
All in all, I think it's a well put together car. I don't think I'd option for the Limited. I think I'd save about 5 or 6 grand and go for one of those XLE premium type things, because the bells and whistles this gives, I don't know, I'd keep the cost down and make it an economical, reliable purchase that's going to hold value.
Okay, James and I are going to go drive the Mazda CX-5 together, because I have a feeling that that's going to be the driver's car of the three. CX-5.
I'm jazzed.
Are you jazzed?
Oh, the adrenaline from these cars.
I had to take a break, needed a glass of water. Okay, so I was actually pretty harsh on the CR-V for 2 reasons. One, I think that Honda can do better in terms of driving dynamics.
Right.
And 2, because this exists.
I was kind to the RAV4. The RAV4 is a good vehicle. The fact that it's mechanically the same, $10,000 cheaper, the way it drives is absolutely as I expect.
Yeah, well, to be fair, the CR-V is still quite nice to live with. I feel like I wanted a little bit more control over the car, and this gives that to me.
This is a torque monster.
It is.
They've uprated it now for 2020. If you put 93 in this, it has 320 pound-feet of torque.
Who is going to put high-octane fuel in their CX-5?
If you can feel the difference of the 10 pound-feet of torque that you get with that, I will pay you $50.
I'll give you a crisp high five.
This has 40 pound-feet more torque than a Golf R.
You can't feel it, but
It feels punchy. The Golf
okay,
R,
compared to the other two,
this does like
this
a
feels
sub 7 second 0 to 60.
Yeah, this honestly feels quite quick, and the engine is responsive. A little bit of turbo lag, but it's very smooth in the way that it pulls away.
Well, for 2020, they've changed the sound.
Oh, okay.
To make it sound sportier, but it's still relatively insulated.
That's the thing, is that this car is very quiet. It's nice to be in a quiet space.
I tell you what, though, it does have some Mazda 3 things that I'm not a big fan of.
Like what?
Steering isn't that great.
I think the steering in this is better than the CR-V, but maybe not quite as simple and pure as the RAV4.
The artificial weighting in this, I don't get on with it. It's a personal preference, but
It is definitely, there's some artificialness to it.
It's got that Volvo vibe.
But it has an on-center feel that's really
it's
positive.
artificial. It feels like someone has stuck the wheel into a gumdrop before it hits the rest of the steering rack. It's the same as Volvo. I don't mind it. Like, it's not a deal breaker for me. This car makes it up in every other way. This was fun on a back road. This is a fun car.
Yes, this has a manual mode and a sport mode right now. Downshift with the paddles, and off we go. There's a wave
paddles,
of torque.
They're just about paddles. If they were smaller, they'd be mosquito bites.
They'd be buttons.
And I would never use them.
Honestly, I was blasting on the back road a few minutes ago, and it's fun to drive. It's weirdly fun to drive.
However, I don't know if you agree, I think these are all begging to become EVs.
So much.
Right?
Every single one of these would be better off straight up as an electric vehicle.
But we said that with the Sonata.
Yep.
And like we say that knowing it adds a ton of weight and price. But I'm waiting for that to not be the case, at least for the price point.
Because they're not inspiring to drive in the engines, and they're very much lacking in that old school displacement off the line whoomp that you get.
Yeah.
You don't get that. There's just a lot of delay.
This one, though. Yeah. You're not turning it correctly. What you want to do is you want to get your hand under and up. Like
Oh, the mom turn.
Yeah, that's what you need.
Yeah, you put it under here, and then you.
Yeah,
Then you
like
do
you're
a
stabbing.
stabbing motion.
Yeah.
This. What
Do
do we
go under?
Oh, okay.
If you don't underarm drive these, you're driving them wrong.
That's right.
Right? We get it. You know how to drive an M2.
Yeah.
Learn how to drive a Mazda CX-5, and then talk to me.
Into the hockey arena, into the grocery store. Yep. That's where they belong.
So 42 grand, you buy an all-wheel drive car. Which one of these is it?
Golf R.
Golf R. That's the Golf R.
All right, I need to reiterate this. This is by far and away the best driving vehicle here.
It is. It feels the most like a car. It's actually fun. Would you
Yeah.
say it makes you feel alive?
Is that a Mazda
That's
slogan?
Mazda's new slogan
Okay.
of last year.
Bring back Zoom Zoom, am I
Yeah.
right?
No, but it's honestly fun to chuck around the back road. And I think for styling, they absolutely crushed it.
Best looking.
It looks brilliant.
Yeah.
The Soul Red Crystal is what complements it the most.
Yes, definitely. Well, there is actually another red one here, but before we get to it, we have to talk about this.
The invisibility cloak of cars.
I've literally gone into restaurants and malls and then come back out and walked right past it. It's so forgettable. It's like it doesn't exist.
Yeah, no, I felt like that in secondary school.
Okay.
It's funny because it's grey,
Yes.
but just looking at the car, it just screams beige.
Somehow,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm sure there's a name for this color, but I'm just calling it gray. It doesn't
Yeah.
deserve any more.
It just looks like a bloated Civic.
Yeah,
It's
no,
inoffensive. It just it doesn't do anything. This is beautiful.
I think it's bordering on
This,
offensive.
on the other hand, is a miniature truck, which is a style, if you like, they do it quite well. I mean, let's be honest, they're all crossovers. They're all pretty similar. It reminds me of the Nokia 3310 back in the... Do you remember that phone?
Yeah, the little one. Yeah.
And every single market store was fascias for it.
Oh, you just buy different face plates
Right,
and swap
so this
them
is...
over.
Exactly. So this
Yeah.
is just a pretty one. This one hasn't got a cover yet. And then this is just like an off-roady thing. There is an off-road
Yeah,
version.
this has got the Forerunner cover. It just,
Yeah, there's an off-road trim, the trail.
yeah.
But this still has the kind of aggressive wheel, plastic
Cladding.
wheel, yeah. But it has 19-inch wheels though, which is the limited stuff.
No, why though? You don't need to do that.
I don't.
You
think
want
it's
a better
necessary.
ride.
Yeah,
right?
I'd rather go for ride. But it looks mean and it looks miniature truck-like, and I know people will like that. And it drives like, as you said, it drives like a miniature Forerunner. So I think it fits.
Let's look at the back end.
All right.
All right, we should probably talk about hatch space. Can I just point out that last week we were driving a Lamborghini Aventador?
Please don't.
Okay.
It's hatchback day. It's amazing.
It's not even hatchback day. It's crossover day. That's worse. Okay. This is fine.
I'm just in denial.
You just can't
My
even say
favorite
it.
river.
All right, let's open this one. They all have power lift gates, which is great. That one's really slow.
Oh, sounds like the engine.
It does. Okay. Now over here. Should we do the interiors?
I just want to go home.
Okay, that was a bit mean.
It was mean.
Yeah, we don't actually hate crossovers that much. I think we're just in Lamborghini withdrawal.
I don't think there's a cure for that.
Yeah, more Lambos.
More Lambo. Funnily enough, on the door skirt here, that almost looks Lambo-y.
You're actually
So
completely
we're
right.
going to pretend we're in the Lamborghini RAV4. I think Toyota have done a great job in here.
Yeah, it's absolutely fine.
We said that the first time. They've gone up market where they needed to be. This feels quite like premium.
but they kept it rugged in certain areas. You got these big knobs.
which is par for the course. I think that's the right move with this car. If they're going to make it look like that on the outside, why
Yeah.
not, a big traction control off button.
Yep.
We've got all different. We've got the big snow buttons, mud, sand. Like they've really gone.
We have heated and ventilated seats. That's nice, actually.
Yeah, you feel like you're in the limited version. Again, the gauge cluster.
I don't like this because first of all, I don't think that screen integrates very well with the two gauges, and it's not bright enough.
I agree on the brightness. I think the integration's fine. We've seen worse integration.
Infotainment is fine. This feels last generation to me. It
does.
really, really does.
It does. We do have the JBL sound system,
Yeah.
which is an upgrade with the limited trim. Standard though with the limited trim. And
Yeah.
it's-
Does
it's
this
good.
have an overhead backup camera?
Yes,
Yes,
it does.
it does.
Yes, and
Yeah.
it's
It's actually not bad.
it looks like the RuneScape thing.
It's very RuneScape, yes. It's not like BMW's 3D rotation level, right?
The quality's poor.
Very.
And you know what's funny is they all share that. None of these have next gen feeling rear
They
view cameras.
really, really don't know.
Which is
This
that's-
is the best though, sadly.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Only because it has the from top. This is still rubbish.
It is. All right, let's go look at the CRV.
That's actually so mechanical, isn't it?
You're so easily distracted. Can we go look at the CRV now?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So there's some really nice aspects of this interior and some things that I really don't like. So this is the top trim, right? So we get the gigantic sunroof. None of the other cars have this, which is really cool.
No.
It's a nice
I like this.
wood trim.
First impressions, I like the wood trim's really cool.
Yeah, no, this
It doesn't
fine.
feel very real. Is it real?
Definitely not.
The Mazda has real wood.
This also has the upgraded sound system, which is actually pretty good. It's not amazing, it's not great.
But this is actually integrated better into the dash than the RAV4 had it.
Yeah, this is fine. It is a little bit far away, I find, though. Like
Okay.
it does have a physical volume knob, which is
Yeah,
nice.
ergonomically, the RAV4 was really, everything is exactly where you want, and it's intuitive.
Yeah, this is similar to that. This is so old looking. This is
No,
such
I
a
know.
dated
I was in
looking
an Uber
ship.
the other day with this, and I was going
What
to
is
start a
that?
conversation with him, and be like, "Oh, this is the new CRV. We're reviewing
Yeah.
that." And I was like, "No, it must be the old one with that gear shifter," but it wasn't. And also, it doesn't go. I'm so used to going all the way back for drive, and this I go all the way to L.
You just go, whoa!
Yeah, I'm an aggressive guy. People don't know that about me. Yeah.
He's not at all. Okay, so this also has the wireless charging too, which is nice. Also, the back seats they're big enough. They're nice and comfortable.
Yeah, they look really comfortable.
Yeah. Now, there's some things that I really, really don't like about this interior.
Okay.
Okay, first of all, this armrest. I don't know if you can feel this edge, this plastic edge.
Oh, I see.
So no matter where you put your elbow,
It's like stabbing.
it digs in. It's sharp. It's really, really
And there's no
poorly-
actual door here.
No, it just swings up.
I don't mind that. It depends
Also,
what you got.
the driving position is really like early 2000s Lexus, where the steering wheel and the pedals are like this close together. So you cannot find a driving position that makes any sense. It's really, really strange.
As a passenger, I'm very comfortable.
That's the thing, is that these seats are great.
Yeah.
Really great.
RAV4 seats are great.
They're not cooled though.
I don't like this. Oh, they're not?
Nope.
Top trim,
Yeah,
40 something grand.
What are you going to say, right? I mean, otherwise, this is completely fine in here. The biggest issue that I have with this car is the way that it drives, not really the interior. Everything in here is completely passable. I don't find it that offensive, honestly. I'm just nitpicking. Gauge cluster is kind of cool. It's like the Civic. Anyway, CX-5?
All right. Funnily enough, when we sorted this comparison out,
Yeah.
I was like, Mazda's going to crush the interior, take it by a landslide.
Yeah.
I don't think it does.
I think it does.
Really?
Absolutely. I think that every single thing about this is visually appealing and feels well made.
Oh, I 100% agree, but I don't think this is a winner by far.
I don't
You
know.
this feels very Audi-like, and this is the real wood. Do you remember
Yep.
the name of the wood?
No, it has a name though.
Yeah.
It's we'll flash it on the screen because we can't remember. It's here. This is nicer. I feel the gauge cluster is like a wonderful blend of digital and analog. Like,
Yeah, they've done a great job with that, and I like the way that it lights up where you are. So, like at night time, you haven't got to look at the whole gauge cluster and look for the thing.
Yep.
It only lights up the nearest 20
yeah.
kilometers.
Nice heads-up display as well. Also, an armrest that doesn't hurt me.
Yeah, these are actually almost chocolate-colored seats.
Yeah, they're not black. It's weird.
Yeah.
You have to look really closely to see that. Okay, so one of the issues that people always have said with the CX-5 compared to its competitors is it's a little bit smaller in the inside.
Yeah.
I don't really think that's that much of
No,
an issue.
there's not that much difference.
Right? Like headroom right here is completely fine. Headroom in the back seats, completely fine. I would say it's a little bit smaller overall in the back seats, but it's totally adequate.
Yeah.
Also, ventilated seats.
Yeah, we do have that. I mean, the keenest among you will know the newest change in here for 2020, a massive change, and you didn't notice this because you're a moron. But for 2020, they've brought the fonts of the buttons into the more modern style that they've been doing recently.
How did I miss
It's
that?
world changing.
How
And-
did I miss that?
And for 2020, we get the new Mazda key,
Oh.
which is fancy looking.
Well then, this has double glazed glass. That's why it's so quiet in here.
Yeah, it's really nice in here, and Mazda, when we got in this the first time, we loved it.
Yep. This is honestly, for the interiors and the exteriors, this is a hard, clean win for the
you?
CX-5 for me. Yeah,
You know where it loses for me?
Where?
I don't find these seats that comfortable.
you're right.
They're quite hard, they're quite
a
narrow.
little narrow. Yeah.
I think the other two take it on the seats. If comfort is your main concern, this isn't the best.
Yep.
But then it makes up for it with the ride.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
And the driving position and everything.
All right, if you could make the perfect car from these three,
I would do
nothing from the Honda.
nothing from the Honda.
I actually like the steering in the Honda the most.
You know what I would put? I would put the lane keep assist from the Honda in this,
Yeah, fair
and
enough.
then
Styling of this?
the rest of it would be this. For me.
Really?
Well, maybe the seats from the Honda actually, because they're a little bit softer and wider.
Mine would borrow a lot from the RAV4 as well.
Okay.
So the CX-5 then is the best driving vehicle of the three, and that's largely because it feels and drives like a car, a dynamic often lost in this class. But the thing is, the Honda and the Toyota can be had in a hybrid, and and that is a massive red X on the CX-5 because it can't. A hybrid brings with it better fuel economy and a torquey EV boost at low revs, something James has really been enjoying in his Honda Accord hybrid tester this week. But since we put such a value on driving dynamics, hence our preferences for sedans and wagons, the CX-5 won us over in this test. But we wouldn't be upset if Mazda chucked in some comfier seats and lane centering assist for 2021. Thanks for watching.